Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. Merry Christmas, y'all. I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Merry Christmas, y'all. This is a kind of an orthodox way I'm doing the show. This is a Christmas/college football playoff mashup episode. Now, again, the reason I'm doing this episode, or I'm doing it this way, is because I just had no idea that the college football playoffs were going to be played 3 days after Christmas. The plan was to do a college football playoff episode next week, but I figured that would be stupid, because why do that in honor of 4 teams when the playoff game's been played and the only thing left is the national championship game. So on this episode, I'm going to celebrate Christmas, but I'm also going to honor all 4 schools that are in the college football playoffs, and those are the LSU Fighting Tigers, the Ohio State Buckeyes, the Clemson University Tigers, and the Oklahoma Sooners. And, yeah. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, on last week's episode, I asked, what 2 words did the Human Torch yell out to activate his full body flame effect? Well, the correct answer is flame on. And 20 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is David Oviedo from Tallulah, Louisiana. So congratulations, David. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Thor question. True or false? Thor debuted in his own monthly book. Everyone who answers correctly been entered in a drawing for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. All right, now Robert Freeman from West Monroe, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this features 2 characters, one in the DC universe and one in the Marvel universe, that can stretch it on out. Representing DC, we have Plastic Man. And representing Marvel, we have Ms. Marvel. These 2 are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today is Plastic Man versus Ms. Marvel. Plastic Man possesses superhuman elasticity and plasticity, malleability, resilience, durability and agility, regenerative healing factor, shape-shifting, immunity from telepathy, invulnerability, and immortality. Ms. Marvel possesses shape-shifting, size alteration, and a healing factor. Who would win? Get ready for a lot of stretching. These 2 would have hard times trying to land hits on each other. At times, they would even take on appearances of different people just to intimidate each other. That is, until Ms. Marvel grows in size and starts throwing Plastic Man around like a rag doll. She then rolls Plastic Man up like a ball, viciously throws him to the ground, and squashes him like a bug. Ms. Marvel wins. But wait! Seconds later, as Ms. Marvel is walking away, Plastic Man gets back to a vertical base, wraps himself around Ms. Marvel's legs, and trips her up. He then says, "That stunt you pulled didn't work because I can't die. You better be glad you're a kid or I wouldn't show you mercy." This fight ends in a draw. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. All right, thank you, Robert Freeman, for that fight. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll have another one for next week. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! All right, there are two things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is the news that Marvel may be replacing Tom Hiddleston with a new Loki in the MCU. Now, keep in mind that Tom Hiddleston is going to star in his own show on Disney Plus called Loki. So far, this has really infuriated a lot of fans, but it doesn't. I mean, at first it did, but then I caught myself and realized that in the comics, there have been Loki has not only been just a man; he's also been a little boy and a woman. And I think what Marvel is trying to do is they're trying to find a way to incorporate that, and then incorporate what happens in the comics into the MCU. And they're trying even harder than ever. So for those of y'all that really don't follow Loki in the comics, J. Michael Straczynski, when he was the writer on Thor 11 years ago, when he started, to tell this story, I would have to go back to a few years earlier, but I'm talking about like 2004. Now, in 2004, there was a story arc in Thor which ended the series temporarily called Death of the Gods, and in it, just about everyone in Asgard had died. And then 4 years later, J. Michael Straczynski comes on the scene and he brings Thor back, as well as everyone else that lived in Asgard, including Loki. And he brought Loki back as a woman. Now this was temporary. Eventually, Loki went back to he had transformed himself back into a man. And then at one point he had seemingly died, and then came back as a little boy. And I think this is a great move. I don't think that, but don't give into the to the reports that they're replacing him. No, they're not. I don't think anyone can replace Tom Hiddleston. I mean, he played the heck out of that role in every Marvel movie that he played Loki. I mean, since 2011, and I just think that's something that's only temporary. I mean, they'll probably bring him back to play the role, but I think they're trying to incorporate some elements of the character from the comics into the TV show. So don't worry, it's only temporary. All right, now the second thing is that Marvel is reportedly offering the role of Wolverine back to Hugh Jackman. Now, last week I reported that Hugh Jackman and Michael Chiklis may end up being in the movie Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness as both Wolverine and the Thing, respectively. Well, I think this is great. I mean, I'm okay with it. Although I honestly believe that 20th Century Fox unfairly wasted so much of Hugh Jackman on some of their watered down X-Men movies, especially Dark Phoenix. But would I like to see him come back? Oh, you bet. Hey, they brought back J. Jonah. They brought back J.K. Simmons to play J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man: Far From Home. I mean, this could work too. Just saying. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 36. Aquaman number 55. Avengers number 28. Batman number 85. Excalibur number 4. Fallen Angels number 4. Flash Forward number 4. Future Foundation number 5. Sadly, it's the final issue. Ghost Spider number 5. Guardians of the Galaxy number 12. Final issue of this book also, but don't worry, there's a new issue. I mean, a new series coming. Justice League number 38. Legion of Superheroes number 2. Marauders number 4. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 13. Shazam number 9. And I'm so excited about finally being all in on this book, because it's been it started out as a comic book series back in 1984, then became a cartoon, and then became a movie, and now it's gone back to its roots as a comic book series. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 100. Tony Stark Iron Man number 19. Wonder Woman number 83. And finally, X-Force number 3. Alright, that's 19, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 9,771. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. True or false? Thor debuted in his own monthly book. Everyone who answers correctly being in the drawing for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to David Oviedo from Tulsa, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this week's episode. It's Christmas, and I hope y'all are remembering it's a time of giving. And when I mean giving, not to yourself. Although I just want to go ahead and say this: if you're one of those people that give to the point where they give up a lot of their time, treat yourself. Treat yourself, because there's only one you. And if that you's not around, you can't give. Well, not here anyway. And good luck to all 4 schools in the college football playoff. Oklahoma, LSU, Ohio State, and Clemson. I'm definitely gonna be watching this weekend, and I know a lot of y'all are gonna be watching as well. I mean, and quite a few of y'all are probably gonna end up going to either one of the 2 games. If you're watching this and it's Christmas Eve, Merry Christmas. If you're watching this and it's Christmas Day and you're around family, put your daggone phone or whatever mobile device or laptop or whatever you're maybe using, just put it away. Spend time with your family. You know, I say this all the time. You know, when you're around family, you know, you can't be a stranger. I mean, have very meaningful, positive conversation. And if you're watching this and it's the day after Christmas, I hope y'all had a great Christmas. I hope it was very delightful, and I hope that y'all had fun and that you got a chance to spend time with family. Now, again, there are some people that don't have family. Well, and you know, my heart goes out to y'all, because you know, it's a sad situation whenever you don't have family, and always hold those that are dear to you very near, because you know you can be here today and gone today. Now next week's episode is going to be just a regular episode. It's going to be an end of the year episode. Nothing spectacular. It's not going to be one of those shows that I'm going to end 2019 with a bang or anything like that. I mean, but if you're watching this and it's a few days after, a few days left in 2019, don't go into 2019, and don't leave 2019 and go into 2020 the same way. You know, make goals for yourself. I'll always strive to get better. I mean, never settle. And that's pretty much it. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the comic here. I'll see you next week for episode 291. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and Boomer Sooner. All in. Go Bucks. Go Tigers. And most importantly, Merry Christmas, y'all.